to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com. Welcome to Moving and Motivating Radio.
Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Wade Taylor, and on today's Moving and Motivating Radio, we're going to talk about keeping your motivation on the positive side of things and keep you moving towards a better future. And we're going to do it in the context of Mental Health Awareness Month. And what I love about today's conversation is we're not going to just focus on the problems, the issues, the negative side of things. We're going to be talking about solutions. We're going to be talking about how you can put yourself in a better mental state. And so joining me today is an expert in that, Leslie Juvin-Acker, and she is the founder of Leslie Inc., which you can find online at leslieinc.org. So open up a browser right now. Go to Leslie, Leslieinc, leslieinc.org, and learn about all that Leslie's doing. And part of what Leslie's doing is creating a community, and a great community of people trying to make positive impacts. And so, Leslie, as I understand, you're creating a community of happy campers.
Absolutely, Wade, yes.
So tell us a little bit about Happy Campers.
Well, the Happy Camper community is an online community and also includes my clients all over the country and the world. And what we do is we focus on, instead of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, we're looking for solutions for finding happiness. And that's a platform where we can talk about that.
Well, very good. And it really is about building community, right?
Right.
And part of building community is people recognizing there are others with similar issues and needs.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people who are suffering from stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in the world.
Yeah, well, it's the curse of the modern life and the modern job. A quick, let's call it a joke, okay? A farmer hires a handyman and tells him to go out and start cutting down trees in this field. End of the day, the handyman has cut down every tree perfectly. And the farmer's like, that's amazing. So the next day, the handyman comes back and he goes, tell you what, turn all those trees into a fence around the farm. And by the end of the day, should have been impossible, the handyman turns all the trees into fence posts. So the farmer's like going, I got to keep this guy around, invites him back the next day and says, okay, go down into the shed and sort the potatoes. Which ones are we going to sell? Which ones are we going to plant? Which ones do we just eat? The guy comes back at noon and quits.
Oh.
And the farmer's like, you can't quit. You're a great worker. Why do you want to quit? And the guy goes, decisions, decisions, decisions.
Exactly.
And we forget how much stress these white-collar, non-physical jobs are through the mental strain of we're having to make decisions, we're having to do this and that. So I think it's underappreciated what a baseline stress level is as a norm in our society these days.
Well, you know what's interesting? I was just having a conversation with a colleague yesterday about what keeps you up at night. Right? We sit awake at night and we're thinking, and for me in our Happy Camper community, we focus on 4 areas, right? So it's your relationships. It could be at work, at home. It could be your career decisions, your financial, or just your general state of emotional well-being. These are the things that keep us up at night. And I provide the solutions to get the answers so you can make the choices so you don't have to stop ruminating and worrying for tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Knowing that there is a solution. Now, a large group of people that you work with that are drawn to what you're doing are women professionals.
Right.
And so tell us a little bit about the stress that working mother is going through as she's trying to balance work life, which can it even be balanced, or do you just kind of mush the two together as best you can?
Right. Well, with Mental Health Awareness Month, we also have Mother's Day.
And right.
Yeah, so we also put that in together in our theme this month on social media. And, the facts is that, like me, I'm a working mother. I own a business. I have employees. There's stress. And sometimes people just don't have their head in the game. So not only are you trying to manage your own job, your own business, but you're also managing a lot of other people that you don't have control of. And the fact is that 70% of women who are working today take care of children under the age of 18. That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people we have to manage. So that's very stressful. And on top of that, mothers are the sole earners for 40% of households.
So they're just carrying all the burden.
Right. That's a lot to manage. That's a lot of stress. And I'm sure that people who are listening today can think of someone in their life that they love who has to manage all of that.
Yeah, that's just on the treadmill running full speed until they collapse in bed at the end of the day.
Right. And in terms of work-life balance, I don't know if it's a myth, but I would have to say that nothing is absolutely balanced or perfect at any one time. I would say, if anything, what I'd like to do and to empower professional women and mothers is to find and create an ecosystem that will allow you to focus on one area of your life that might not be working, but also creates strength in the other areas that can support that while your attention is in that weaker area.
Right. And also, I imagine there's value in recognizing. You know, it's like, in business management and everything. They point out that we go into the meetings and we spend 90% of the time focusing on the one thing that went wrong, right, ignoring the 9 things that went right.
Yeah.
And so just having the reinforcing value of, hey, this stuff is going right.
Right.
Take a moment to appreciate that, correct?
Well, sometimes it takes an external person like a coach like myself to say, hey, look at all the things that you are doing and what you can work on, and give yourself a little credit. And I like to say to my community, my happy campers, my clients, is take a moment to thank yourself for all that you've done.
Very good. Now, I would imagine that might be something that's in your coaching package.
Right.
Am I correct that you call them guide packs?
I call them guide packs because I like to guide people back to their state of happiness, because sometimes we get into a negative mental state. Because like you said, sometimes we just focus and obsess over that one thing that went wrong or that one person who annoyed us. And so we get into a negative state of mind. And what I do is I create these guide packs to help get you there in those 4 states that we were talking about: your career, your relationships, emotional well-being, and your finances.
Right. And so tell us a little bit about how you interact with your clients to provide this solution. Kind of walk us through the experience. Let's say that I'm a single mother, right? Got the 2 kids at home. One's probably about 8. One's like 12.
Right.
And, oh boy, puberty's
Right.
looming, right?
Yeah.
And at work, they're asking me to assume a little bit more leadership position.
Right.
And my head's going to explode.
Actually, I had a woman come in like that recently. She had a 11-year-old son who's going through some issues, and she's trying to grow her own business, and she's in a divorced state, and she's trying to manage her son who's growing up and having his own issues, and she takes a lot on herself, a lot of blame, and she's going, gosh, what's going on with my child here? But then I'm having all this demand on myself, and so she puts herself in this heavily responsive mode, and she becomes very guilty. And so what I would do is walk her through those core emotions. We sit her down and say, what are you feeling? What's going on? Because a lot of mothers, they want to avoid those feelings and work through them. But what I do is get you to acknowledge the feelings, go through them, and find on the other side all the answers that are inside of you to make the very best of the situation.
Wow, that sounds very powerful. Now, so again, we can find out more about you at leslieinc.org.
Right.
Where would you direct us within your website if we want to? Well, do you have an assessment, I believe?
I do. I have the happiness assessment. And you can go anywhere on the website, even on the front page, and it says, take the happiness assessment, get started, let's go. And it will take you through a 60-second, 10-question quiz to find out which area in your life is stressing you the most. And you can take that on your phone, on your computer, and it will recommend a guide pack based on your unique answers.
All righty. Well, very good. Well, we've got just about a minute left. So what I'd like for you to do is speak to our audience and perhaps that professional woman and reassure her that it is not all doom and gloom, that there is a path to happiness.
Right. Well, I just think about my own mother. Right.
Okay.
I have these memories of my mom, and she was a mother of 4 children, and she worked, and her relationship with her husband, my father, was very strained. And I have these memories of her crying and feeling so hopeless and not being able to help her. And even myself, I have those moments where I'm just like crying by myself. And if you are feeling overwhelmed emotionally, there are people who care and who want you to get those answers, but you can't run away from how you feel. Turn into yourself and get help. And that's what strong people do, is they get help.
Very good, very good. So in recognition of Mental Health Month, we want to encourage everybody to, as Leslie mentioned, step one is acknowledge the situation, because you can't address it until you acknowledge it. And then once you've acknowledged it, start working on it, seek help, perhaps from a professional like Leslie Juvin-Acker at leslieinc.org. We'll be back in a moment to learn more about how this impacts business here on Movin' and Motivatin' Radio, powered by WSRadio.com. We are the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
Cybersecurity is the fastest growing job sector. The SoCal Cyber Cup Challenge encourages kids to consider computer security as an interesting course of study and a valuable career path. Securing Our eCity helps lead this youth competition to create interest and awareness among students and their schools. The SoCal Cyber Cup Challenge. Learn more at securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Wonderful things are happening for our children in San Isidro. The San Isidro School District has improved academic, sports, and performing arts programs, and you can even make them better. Many of San Isidro's children go to bed every night hungry or homeless. They don't have to, and you can help. I'm Dr. Julio Fonseca, proud superintendent of the San Isidro School District, and I invite you to join us on Facebook. We are the San Isidro School District. Help us make wonderful things happen for our great children and our future workforce.